In a university classroom, professor stood at the lectern, luring the students with emotional words.
Everyone, the rich eat 100 fruits, while the poor wolves and foxes eat none. Therefore, we must divide everything equally. Only then will the forest be just.
The students simply nodded without thinking. At that moment, a young wolf stepped forward. His eyes were calm, yet sharp.
Professor, if everyone divides everything equally, who would strive to grow better fruit? In the end, no one will plant, and the entire forest will starve.
The professor's face turned crimson. He shouted in rage.
You are violent. Ah! You have a far-right mindset.
He threw chalk, kicked the lectern, and raged. Yet in that classroom, the only one who used violence was the professor himself. From that day on, the young wolf Charlie realized the university was teaching falsehoods. He left the classroom and walked into the heart of the forest. He began a public debate.
The rich do nothing. They just exploit workers and hoard wealth.
The crowd murmured. Then the young wolf stepped forward again and answered calmly.
Can someone who does nothing at all truly manage hundreds of employees and bear billions in risk? Running a company means taking on responsibility and risk. Those who do nothing can never stand in that position.
The crowd applauded.
Hey, you always curse the rich, but you brag about luxury brands and switch cars all the time. Even now, your hat changes in every scene, doesn't it? Haha.
That's only because author Blue Potion is treated as an extra, so no one bothers to care.
The crowd burst into laughter. The frog, humiliated, ran away. His hat once again changed.
Women are paid less than men for the same work. This is discrimination. We must guarantee equal pay.
A good point. But really, do people receive less pay while doing the exact same work for the same time, with the same responsibility? Or is it because, on average, men are assigned to more dangerous jobs, longer hours, and harder tasks, causing the wage gap to appear? Often, the difference in pay does not come from discrimination, but from differences in choice and responsibility.
Excuse me, do you even know what this employee does in our company? She spends all day on social media. And when overtime comes, she always finds a way to escape. And we have a menstrual leave policy. But somehow she always takes it on Fridays, especially when work piles up.
The crowd fell silent, then erupted in laughter.
So she cries discrimination, but in reality, she enjoys privileges. Haha.
That's because society still oppresses women.
But the crowd had already turned away. Laughter and jeers filled the air.
Friends, do you see this? Those who curse the rich try to become rich themselves through fraud. Those who cried out for equality create inequality when it disadvantages them. Common sense is stronger than emotion, and truth destroys hypocrisy.
The crowd roared with applause and cheers.
This young wolf, he's waking up a generation. You've given me the spark, the reason I must rise again, believe me.
The sound finally reached the great eagle in the sky. Tramp. The young wolf and Trump sang together the song of freedom. The awakened masses rallied behind Trump, and at last, he rose to the presidency.
Mr. President, in the Eastern Forest Nation, churches are being trampled, believers are suffering.
In the Eastern Forest Nation, there is now a purge, a so-called revolution.
This message spread across the world just 3 hours before Trump's meeting with Jay Juiming.
How dare they insult us? We will never forgive that wolf and eagle.
My friends, freedom is a right given by heaven. The Eastern Forest Nation is the front line of the free world. If we keep our faith, the darkness will never break us.
Whoever spread the news of church persecution abroad, we will silence him forever. He will never appear before the world again.
It was a warning of Charlie's fate. The security chief Dong Parrot quickly sent word to leftist groups in the Eagle Nation.
Charlie must not be left alone. He is breaking the false frames we built and awakening the youth.
Don't worry. We'll erase him with one of the pawns we brainwashed.
4 days later, the young wolf stood once more on the debate stage. Then came the gunshot. Charlie fell and never rose again.
At last, that far-right wolf is gone. We've won.
That little hero, with such a small body, spoke the truth with tremendous courage. Tremendous, and you crushed him. You crushed him.
The young wolf Charlie fell to bullets, but his voice and his truth did not die. The awakened stood firmer, guarding their freedom even more. We remember the young wolf Charlie. And now we're Charlie Kirk.